What's up, guys? My name is Zach, and today I am driving a 1995 Toyota Caldina. Up front is a 2.0 liter inline 4, and down below is a 4-speed automatic transmission. Now, I am super excited to be driving this here Caldina for a couple of reasons. First of all, I've never driven one of these before. This car is imported from Japan, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. And I think it's super unique. I think it has some really cool features, and I'm just genuinely excited to share this car with you today. But before we get on to anything else, I have a website, zackpradel.com, where you can buy stickers and other merchandise when it becomes available. You can also submit your own vehicle to be reviewed by me through a quick and easy submission form, and you get a video of your car, just like the one you're watching now. And you could read my behind-the-scenes blog to see what I'm filming before it comes out on the channel. But let's get back to that 2.0 liter under the hood. It's known as the 3SFE, and it makes about 120-ish horsepower. There were tons of engines offered in the Caldina in this era, but most notably, the next generation of Caldina actually got a turbo from the MR2. So, super cool about that. But this car was also offered in diesel and several other configurations, which I find to be really interesting. All right, 2 liter. Not great, not terrible. It works. What can I say? Now, like I said, paired to it is a 4-speed automatic transmission. Of course, you could option a manual as well, but this is just a comfy cruiser. This car was actually imported here to the United States to be used as a mail vehicle, and so you don't want to be shifting gears when you're trying to pass out papers. So automatic is fine. Last but not least, this car is front-wheel drive. However, you could get all-wheel drive, but this just isn't that. So with that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have 3 main gauges. On the left is my tachometer, in the center is my speedometer, and on the right is my coolant temperature and fuel. That's it, very basic. The steering wheel also doesn't have anything on it. It has a little horn button. That's it. That's all you get. Off to the right of me, I have a climate control vent as well as my fog light switches. This does have factory installed fog lights we'll talk about with the exterior. And then moving on to the door, I do have power mirrors as well as power folding mirrors. Very nice feature for the mid-90s. Then I have my power windows and power locks. Moving into the center, I get 2 climate control vents as well as my hazard switch, rear defrost, and digital clock. Then I do have an aftermarket radio because most radios from the 90s were pretty bad. Also, you can't get Japanese radio stations in America and vice versa. They work on different frequencies, so if you want to listen to the radio, you have to switch it out. But I do want to say, this is the first time I've ever reviewed a car with an aftermarket radio, and Bruce Lee is staring back at me. Kind of ominous. Then I do get my climate controls, so I do have auto, I have AC, I have Econ, tons of great features. Now, I don't get dual zone, but that's okay. I'm not even mad about it. Then I do get an ashtray and cigarette lighter, of course. Then the shifter itself. Now, I do have 2 different shifter modes for power and manual, but other than that, pretty standard Toyota 4-speed. Then I get 3 coin holders, I believe. I assume this would be buttons on something else, maybe. Dead switches, filler switches, whatever you want to call them. And then I do have a cup holder. So we will do a big friggin' bottle test. And I do want to point out, it does have this cool little helper that pops out to hold smaller cups and bottles. However, the big friggin' bottle is too wide to fit in the opening at all. So unfortunately, the 1995 Toyota Caldina fails the big friggin' bottle test. Before we talk about the seats, one thing I do want to mention is that up above my left shoulder, so up in the middle of the ceiling, I actually have an air purifier. This was sort of a rare option, but available in a lot of Japanese cars. It was actually an air purifier built into the roof. How cool is that? Then I do have a center console and the seats. The seats might be one of my favorite aesthetic pieces inside of the Caldina because they look straight out of a 1995 Brunswick zone. I love it. They're so retro. I love this like weird splash of color that was very popular in this era. The only Japanese seats in my mind that are cooler and more nostalgic for the 90s than this are the Honda Beat seats because they're zebra print. But other than that, I love this interior, and the door cards get the same material as well. I absolutely love that. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's go do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 1995 Toyota Caldina, and the fabric from the front seats actually carries on back here, which I really, really like. Again, it really gives you that sort of Brunswick Zone style feeling from the 90s. Very, very nostalgic, and I really, really like that. Again, the rear seat occupants get to really enjoy this air purifier, which I think is a really cool feature that we don't really see in modern cars even. Kind of interesting there. Other than that, nothing really to write home about. I don't get a center console. I get power windows, which is nice, but again, I can sit here like a big full-size adult, 5'11", not a small guy. Knees don't hit the seat in front of me. Head not hitting the ceiling. Beautiful. If I close my eyes, yes, I'm in the back of a luxurious S-Class right now. Not touching, wow, I'm not touching anything. That's pretty cool. Until the headrest, but like literally, oh, okay. Wow, that's pretty cool. Anyway, let's hop around the very back. We'll take a quick look at the cargo space because this is a wagon, and then we'll talk about the looks. All right, so we're on the back of the Toyota Caldina. I find it hilarious. Toyota put this grab handle on. Really reminds me of handicap bathrooms. Anyway, side note there, keyhole there. There we go. Look at all of that trunk space. This is, hold on. I mean, come on. Look at how much space this is. It's huge. It can fit a whole me. So I know this car is based off of the Corona, which is like kind of just a little bit bigger Corolla for us Americans, if you have to equate it to an American car. The Corolla, this is so much space. This is really, really cool. I could live happily back here. If someone closed the hatch, I would easily ride back here. Ow. Anyway, so much space back here. I do want to make note of two things real quick. First of all, the best sticker ever put on a review car. I love that sticker. But also, Tokyo Toyota. So this car actually lived most of its life in Japan at a Toyota dealer in North Tokyo. So this was actually the parts running car for Tokyo Toyota North, I believe was the name of the dealership. Really, really cool little piece of history of this car. Now it's out here in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Who would have thunk? Now we gotta talk about the looks and a couple of things to note. First of all, well, I love the look of it, but the body kit was actually imported from Russia, the front and rear lips. But what is factory that I absolutely love is the bull bar up at the front. That's actually a factory option with the optional fog lights. That was something you could get straight from Toyota. I really, really love that. I love the sort of old rally style yellow fog lights. And yeah, even in Japan, it said Bosch in perfect English. Really interesting. I also love the roof line. I love the shape of it. Now, the Caldina was actually originally part of the Corona line, Toyota Corona. However, they split it off for its own vehicle, and this car was designed and sold to directly compete with the Subaru Legacy. Take a look at the Subaru Legacy, and then a couple years prior in 1993, you could see where this car gets its looks from. So with that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. How do I feel finally driving a Toyota Caldina? Is it a Subaru Legacy fighter? Is it nothing compared to that? Is it a fantastic car? What do I feel? Well, I love it. I love it. Survey has come back and I love this car. First of all, it's very, very fun to drive. Yes, it has an automatic transmission. Boo-hoo, whatever, cry me a river. Would a 5-speed be fun? Of course. But this car is so light on its feet, it's so nimble. Yeah, that 2-liter is gonna be screaming when you put your foot into it, but it's gonna be enjoyable. It's gonna actually do something. And on a twisty road, you're gonna find yourself smiling. And that's all that matters. Would this beat an Audi R8 V10 in a drag race? Of course not. But this is slow car fun. And to me, kind of the best. Slow car fun. The other things I really like, I love the exterior. I think it looks really presentable. I think it looks nice and it looks different and unique. I like the interior. You know, the steering wheel's a little worn, sure. But other than that, the plastics in here have held up really, really well for 151,000 kilometers. And of course, it being 27 years old. You can't knock this interior. It's holding up great. Way better than the 2005 Mitsubishi I recently drove. So Toyota build quality is absolutely fantastic. And the last thing I'll say about this car is that I've said it a million times before. I'll say it a million more times. You buy a Toyota because they just work. Is this thing super flashy? No. Are you going to have art students dropping their easels, trying to get a glimpse of it so they can paint it for their next capstone project? No. But what you give up in looks, you get back in reliability. And that, to me, is the best. That's the most important thing. I was doing so well. You have to understand, viewer, the turn signals and the wipers are switched from a left-hand drive American car. So you actually use your right hand for the turn signals and your left hand for the wipers, where in America, where I am, obviously, you use your left hand for the turn signals and right hand for the wipers. I just used my left hand for the turn signal and turned on the wipers. I haven't done that in so long. I've been so good about it. I just broke my streak. I don't know. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Chase for letting me take out his Toyota Caldina. This thing is really, really cool. I love these cars so much that I'm going to spend my own money on one. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, huge thank you to Chase. He's been absolutely awesome to work with. Very knowledgeable, very easygoing, very lighthearted, awesome guy. And I can't thank him enough. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.